Well, welcome to the class. And I want you to know that today and yesterday have been much better with this bread than it was a week ago when I made it. I'm not a bread maker. I've made French bread before and it's always turned out well. But this was a brand new experiment for me. I'm not used to making dough and then walking away from it and ignoring it and thinking it's gonna be fine and then come back in 2 days and have it respond. And the first loaf did okay, but this recipe today is the front sheet on my handwritten one. I took it out of a different magazine, and I thought I'm gonna chance this because it makes sense, better sense on the paper than the one I used prior. This is focaccia bread, is how you say it? Focaccia bread, okay. It originated, they say, in Scotland. When the guys would be on the moors and it was cold, they would make a rough dough of their leavening and flour, and then roll it and put it on a stick and cook it in a fire, the coals, to keep them going. I mean, you know, our cooking and tastes have advanced considerably, but that's where they, as far as I can trace it back, it wasn't Greek, they haven't found it in tombs anywhere. That's where it originated. And then over the years, it's been improved upon and different cultures have added their own flavor to it. So, anyway, just a couple, 3 tips. When we were talking about sourdough, when I was in Winco buying yeast for this, on the top row, their sourdough starts in little bags, 79 cents. I'm like, I should buy one and take it. I thought, no, we're not gonna use it. I should have brought one in anyway. But so if you wanna try that, instead of babysitting your sourdough and sleeping with it when you drive across the plains, as I did, to keep it alive, it's there in a little packet. So I just thought that was interesting, because this is not sourdough, it's fresh. Now, on the first recipe that I made, the recipe called for 4 cups of flour and a teaspoon of yeast and a teaspoon of sugar and then the water. And I just thought, that's not enough. I mean, even though I don't bake, I thought that's not enough. But then also realized, well, this isn't gonna raise like a loaf of bread. And then the toppings were olive oil and salt and Parmesan cheese and cheddar cheese and Italian herbs and what's this one? Rosemary. So I put all that on it, baked it. It came out way less risen than what this is right here. And it's supposed to be crunchy on the bottom and real chewy, but it's supposed to have little air holes all through it and crispy on top. You could have eaten a saddle with less effort than what you ate. It was so tough. I split it between myself and neighbors on this side and neighbors on that side. I told them what I'd done. I said, just taste it and see if it tastes okay. One of them said, oh, this is great, but he's the one that'll eat anything. And the other 2 didn't even call and comment. And my sister said, well, I took a couple bites, but she says, it was too salty for me and too much stuff on it. And I says, that's exactly how I felt about it. Even if you were just gonna dip it in soup and eat it, it was too loaded. So today, at 20 after, we're almost there, we're gonna take the plastic wrap off this. When you mix it in a big enough bowl, because it's not gonna double in size, but it's certainly gonna rise up. You mix the dough together, and then you cover it with plastic wrap and a little bit of oil on top, stick it in the fridge for 24 hours.
Is it regular flour?
Yeah, I use it's on the counter,
This?
unbleached, no, it's over here, I used unbleached.
And so you get 2.
No, this is a
just
recipe
one.
and a half of that. Because I didn't think one would be enough if we had a whole house to serve it.
Okay.
So this
So-
yield is 1.5 recipes of that. That's in the front page.
Okay.
So anyway, then after it sets and you bring it out of the refrigerator, you're supposed to, while it's still in the bowl, you look down at it and it's definitely a little puffy, but not like regular bread dough. But you take a quarter of it, and fold that to the middle, and you go around the whole loaf and do that. So 4 folds. And then the little loopy part that didn't get folded, that's your next fold. You fold all those in. And then you don't knead it or anything. You're supposed to turn it out onto the pan with a wet spatula.
I use spray trim.
Huh?
I just spray mine in the pan.
Well, and make sure that your pan is well oiled. You're supposed to turn that out on that.
So you don't
And
roll it, you just push
Don't.
it yourself.
Okay,
Dump
you're
it.
supposed to push it with a plastic spatula that's been dunked in water.
Oh, I see what you're
Does
saying.
that work? No, it just went back up and pushed more, back up to where it was. I thought, okay, fine.
Oh.
So I just put a little of the olive oil this was the plastic wrap that was on the in the fridge, and it had a little residue on it. I just laid that on and patted it out with my hands, and it stayed.
Oh.
It stayed pretty good. I'd let it rest maybe 5 minutes and do it again because it sprang back a little bit. Nothing like I tried to do with the spatula and dip it in cold water. Okay, and then you just cover it with plastic wrap. And I did use the little sprayer that we could buy with the olive oil because it mists it really fine. But that's the least of your worries. You're gonna drown this thing in olive oil before it goes in the oven. I can't believe how much that it tells you to put on it. But it's really good. Okay, so that's how you mix it and make it and get it to here. Then if you cover it up, it has to sit 2 more hours. So at 20 after 8 at my house, we were pressing it, putting the covers on it, covering it with a dish towel, and letting it sit at room temperature. You don't put it in an oven, you don't do anything with that. This, if you got a spurtle, that was the best thing in the world to mix it with. It was strong enough to turn it all for the weight of it. And you could probably mix a double batch in a bowl and have it be fine, but I don't think I'd do more than 2, more than double, if you're gonna do for a bunch of people. Okay. So, I'm gonna take the cover off, but first I need to chop the red pepper just a little bit and some tomato and black olives. This is what's gonna go on top of it. We're not gonna go crazy all like this time. So real quick.
That's a good knife.
It's not the most expensive one in the world, but it's so good. And then that little knife sharpener that I showed you, that one you drag through, I always do that before I start cutting with it, because I don't think it's a steel blade, but it's not a real good quality steel blade. I did wash my hands before we started. So dice the red pepper. You can put anything on this bread that you want to. You can make it sweet. You can put cinnamon and sugar on it if you wanted a crunchy, you know, something with your ice cream or cookies, or if you were doing a charcuterie board to cut it in fancy pieces and do that. But I'm just going to do, I don't want it too much, because that's what was wrong with the first one. Let's see, we'll do,
Voila.
what?
Oh,
Voila.
I would always
Okay,
care as
this is you use your knuckles.
Oh, to put the holes in.
With more olive oil.
So did you say earlier that you put holes in it?
No, I didn't put holes in it,
You
just
just do that
this.
now.
Yeah, you just, and don't go clear through the bottom. You don't want the pan to come through, but you want lots of dimples in this. Okay, craters, little craters. Paper towel.
Rub it in.
Well, okay, and then I did put a little olive oil on it, because you should see little, in all the little wells, you should see little puddles.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
I know, that's what I thought too, but it is good.
So what's the purpose of all the olive oil? You put on it?
Taste, and it makes it crispy. Yeah, so we're gonna do, let's see, we'll do 1/2 with red peppers, sweet red peppers. Anybody that doesn't like these, I should have asked. No show of hands.
I'd rather eat that than an apple.
I gotta eat
I do too. I think they're so
want
sweet.
bread over dessert to me. And recently there's been some gorgeous red peppers.
Yeah, there have been. Don't try and buy bean sprouts anywhere. For some reason, nobody in town, Albertsons finally had some in, but that's another story.
Most of them with ice ones already, huh?
Well, they're sliced. I don't like the diced ones too well because they're just mush, as far as I'm concerned. So you spread your black olives on there. That's just, you don't want a bite in every, something in every bite, but I think there's enough here that we can cut this, and it'll be fine for everybody. And these are pepita seeds, which are
Yeah.
pumpkin seeds. This is gonna go,
Pumpkin seed?
They're so good for you.
Really?
so they're gonna go over the whole thing,
Baby.
but not crazy.
How pretty.
Yeah, it is, it's a pretty loaf. Okay, and then we're gonna use some of the fresh, is it thyme?
Oh, that's rosemary.
Yeah, that's
Rosemary, okay,
Right.
a little, I don't want it to get the side of being short. This nifty little thing is a herb stripper. All these little holes, the stem on your herb, you put it in from this way and pull on the stem,
Oh,
and it catches all your little leaves.
now, isn't that
So it's
cute?
cool. I got it at Big Lots. I paid $5 for it last year. It's gone up 60%. I looked yesterday when I was there, they're $8 now. So I
Wow.
mean, if you can pull them off your fingers, it's fine. I grow basil, and it's real woody, and I'm gonna grow 3 or 4 different kinds of it, so that's why I bought it, was to strip that out. Okay, so then the last piece on this, we're not gonna put cheese on this one, it's just like pretzel salt, a little. Well, I had some black salt from Hawaii, and that's what I put on the first one that I tried. It was really salty, so I didn't want to ruin that. Okay, so that one's done. Okay. So, oil first. So your fingers don't stick. I know, that's what I thought too. Can't put too much on it.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, it's easier than the knuckles, and you can see where you're at. You don't want too many, because you don't want to pop all the bubbles on the inside. Okay, any place, no, it's good. Okay, this one's just gonna go oil and a tiny bit of Italian herbs, tiny. And some salt, because we're gonna make the dip on the stove, but when this one comes out, we'll cut it in strips and then you can dip it in the dip. Okay, and that's less than,
What kind of salt are you using?
Yeah.
this is a package of pretzel salt I happen to have at home.
So can you buy that? Pretzel
You
salt?
can, I think you can buy coarse, coarse
Yeah,
salt.
coarse salt.
Or I would,
Kosher's almost-
yeah, or on the spice aisle, I mean, there's different flavors, there's black salt, there's pink salt, there's,
Okay.
yeah. The black salt just has lava it's harvested with lava, and they grind that with the
Oh.
real fine, but it sure gives it, no, it gives it a really earthy, good flavor.
Crunchy.
Yeah, yeah, so, whatever, yeah, different.
Eating rocks.
Okay, that one's got enough oil in it, cause all the little, well, not all,
Mhm.
okay. Pretty much all the little pockets have that in. So we're gonna bake this now for 25 minutes, and while we bake it, I'll make the sauce for the other one.
These should smell good while they're cooking.
Mhm.
Yeah, it should. Thank you. Cross your fingers if this one comes out all right.
Okay.
Primer. Minutes. Doesn't it say 25 minutes on there?
It does, but put it
Let's
for
set the
12 so
alarm
we
on
can
our
switch them.
clock.
Oh, all right.
And then we'll add more time.
Yeah, okay. It'll automatically go if it's.
Yep, yep,
Okay.
yep.
Well, my timer's different.
Yeah, I know, they're all different.
Well, no, my oven is 35 years old. It's a built-in wall oven. If it
Oh.
ever dies, I mean, bad luck, because I thought that it would be fun to get a new one. They don't make the size anymore, and to custom make an oven that will fit the hole. It's $3,800.
Oh.
I'd
No, we'll just keep doctoring, and it's been
I'd
good.
make the hole bigger, build the wall bigger or something.
It'll be out in the garage.
Cabinet might be cheaper.
No, don't you dare throw those away, honey. Oh, I'll eat those for lunch. I love that.
You might end up with a whole plate full of stuff in there.
This other sauce thing, I got it, but this doesn't take too long to make, so we'll just do it on this slide. You're supposed to use 8 cloves of garlic. Woo! I'm not using it, because I don't want everybody to know where I am for the next 9 days.
So do you have this recipe in this?
It's the first, for this recipe is the little piece.
It's
that
on
looks-
that second page.
It looks like this.
It's that little,
Oh, that's
right
red,
there.
that's a sauce.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I'm gonna double it, because it only made 3/4 of a cup.
okay.
I don't know how much we want to dip in it. Sorry. I can't see anything. mid-range anymore. Shallot is about
That looks like it's gonna be good.
Is that a shallot?
It is, this is a shallot, they're purpley fancy onions, a little milder, a little sweeter, more expensive. Yeah, more expensive.
I guess I'll let you throw that away, but I'd be putting.
Sure you don't wanna suck on
I'd be
that part?
putting it in the freezer.
I kinda asked you
To
before,
dye my
when you,
Easter eggs.
peel your onions, not so much your garlic, but throw the peelings in a bag in the freezer, a Ziploc bag. When it's full, put them in a pot, cover them with water, and make the best onion stock for the next batch of soup you're gonna make. That's
Say
all
that
the skin,
again?
all the skin is the dried, this layer dried out once or twice.
Yeah.
So when you peel an onion, sorry,
You put the dried meats in
you just put all this dry skin, like the garlic,
Ziploc bag.
in your freezer, and when you get the bag full, like a quart, like a big one, like a gallon bag, then you, take them out, put them in a pan, cover it with water, and, make yourself some onion stock. Excuse me.
Garlics. Or the
I
onion
think
paste.
I put whatever it is, and it's in my hair too, so so I'm only gonna put, I think 3 cloves of garlic is plenty, cause you're still gonna have the shallot in there. I don't want it, unless all of you just absolutely love garlic.
So are you doubling the recipe? Is
Huh?
that what
Yes.
you're doubling it?
Yeah, I'm doubling this, but it calls for 8 cloves of garlic for one batch of the, and that's, to me, that's way too much. But then wasn't born in Italy, where they use it in everything, which is A-okay, cause it's sure good for you, but it tends to stay with me for a long time. Well, and the peelings are sticky. Smells good. You could probably use bottled, you know, if you want to, I mean, it's easier and faster. Just depends on what you're used to and what you like. Get the little shallot skins. Out. So just, I don't want anybody to get a big chunk of this, that sauce. So what goes into this is olive oil, and you heat that, and then your shallot and your garlic for just a few minutes, and not too long. You gotta stand there and watch it, because garlic burns really easily. Yeah, and it does. Carol's right, it gets very bitter. So, and then, let's see, onion and garlic and salt. You cook that for, then you pull it off the heat and put the butter in it, and the Parmesan cheese, and what else goes in there? Okay, now, I'm not gonna make it hot either. I'm gonna put just minimal pepper flakes in there, just so you get the flavor, but I don't wanna burn anybody's mouth. And I'm a person who likes to eat something and taste it, not have my tongue so numb afterwards.
Right.
Not taste anything for 4 days.
And then it was
Fine.
and oregano.
Yeah. I think we're gonna use Italian herbs instead of oregano. Cause there's already some on that loaf, and oregano can be very bitter.
Yeah.
And don't ever be afraid to, you know, play with or adapt or monkey with the recipe. I mean, if it doesn't turn out, you know, you haven't lost your leg or anything. And you probably learned something, like I did on that first loaf of, oh my gosh, I was just so upset, so nervous. I thought, this is never gonna work. I'm never gonna say, yes, I'll do a project unless I've done that before. I'm gonna tell Karen, yes, I'll do that. But this looks like it's gonna be much better.
Isn't this great though? That you now can make it for all your neighbors. You just said you
No,
had
I'll make
never
them
before.
cookies or a cake or, I'll cook them a pork chop or something. Okay, that's good. Okay, and then this and that and the salt, right? And the butter's over there, okay? Okay, so just start with a heavy pan, And I'm sure that's so you don't burn your ingredients. Let's see what we got.
Pretty pan.
Tablespoon of olive oil.
So a double missile too.
Oh, okay, 2.
Okay, here's 2 tablespoons of oil.
Heat oil.
I are, another 2 sticks together here, it's coming.
I know. Then you add the shallot and garlic
Yep.
and sprinkle with salt.
Sounds good.
And at the price of butter, we know this is a sacrifice.
I know.
Well, this actually, we had a ward dinner, or we had our longest time later service in our ward. So we could do linger longer, and we've never done it all the years I've been up there. So last year, they decided to do linger longer. It turned out really well. But people would bake rolls and bake breads and all kinds of, nobody ever brought any butter. So, second to the last time we could do this, I thought, I'm bringing butter. So, and I can't remember who had it on sale, but somebody had it 2 for $5. So, I mean, I bought,
A lot.
I think I bought 6 pounds of butter. And we put a half a cube on each table. And I learned a long time ago, don't ever throw the wrappers away.
Right.
We got done and they had the young men come in, we're clearing tables, and I see the one take the thing of the butter in the garbage.
Oh!
I mean, I just, and I yelled just like that. So I
Oh,
says, no, no, no.
who would ever do
You
that?
take those plates of butter back into the kitchen, because nobody touches them, now cut it with a knife.
Right.
Anyway, long story short, well, they carefully walked the little plates of butter back in, and I'd saved the wrappers, and I put those together in pound packages, and I still have 1 whole one left. So, yeah, it's too expensive to
Yeah.
throw out. But, you know, they were doing a good job, excuse me. Karen and I have, I don't know if it's allergies or what it is, but my nose runs all the time. So I have to take stuff for it, so it
The
doesn't.
inversion.
Okay, oil's hot.
Okay.
This is when it smells like heaven.
This is wonderful.
Put the shallots in first. Sizzle.
Mhm.
Stove's not level.
Mhm. No, I can see that.
Hi, Susie. Hello, Susie.
Cook 2 or 3 minutes until tender and aromatic.
Well, let's turn the heat down. 2 or 3 minutes, we'll have little black
I know, you will.
And I keep wanting to dump the garlic in, but I know better. It only takes about a minute to cook. Well, see, you already too hot on that. Toasted shallots.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so if it gets too hot, pull it off the stove, say a little prayer, quit browning, quit browning. The salt. You know why you put the salt in now? It draws the moisture from whatever you're cooking. If it's vegetables or fruits, it'll draw the salt out of it, or draw the moisture out of it. So then it gets it, not only, how much does it say, a teaspoon? Half a teaspoon of
It
salt?
doesn't say, it just says kosher salt.
Okay.
It doesn't give a,
Okay, I don't want.
Just the
we
right
don't want
amount.
it too salty.
Okay, let's say a third of a teaspoon, that was. But yeah, that's what, it'll draw the moisture out of these.
So that's why you wait on mushrooms to do them after, right?
Well, and yeah, and if you do mushrooms, I've read this someplace, maybe it was Julia Childs, this was a long time ago. I know, it was from the movie that the little gal that did the Julia Childs. Anyway, she did a recipe and it said not to crowd the mushrooms when she was sauteing them. And I thought, okay, I mean, I just, you know, a cup and a half. But they don't brown. And it's the brown off the sliced mushroom that's what giving you the flavor, not the steamy juice that you get by doing the whole bunch at once. So don't crowd your mushrooms. Get a bigger pan, a wider pan, do them on a griddle so they can all sit flat, and then you tip them over.
Oh,
And they're much
I
better
didn't know
flavored.
that.
Oh my gosh, especially if you're gonna make homemade cream of mushroom soup. Yum.
It's aromatic.
Yes,
Yeah,
okay.
you're getting there.
All right, then we melt the butter, right? Right, butter next.
Butter, Parmesan, oregano.
Not, you're supposed to pull this off the heat to do this. Yep, supposed to melt all this.
So you just saute in olive oil to start with?
Yeah, just heat the olive oil first and then do your shallot. And it started to brown. It might be a little crispy because I'm not familiar with the heat on this. Okay.
So it's good to cool
Switch
it
around.
mixture.
Okay, the hot pads are in that little drawer. Oh my gosh, they're
Perfect.
beautiful.
And the girl said she didn't bake bread.
I know.
I may never do this again.
That is gorgeous.
They're
That is so
gorgeous.
Almost looks like a giant pita.
Mhm.
Okay.
Here you go.
How fun.
Okay, I did the timer. So now I have added the butter to the shallots and the garlic, and we're just
Yeah,
gonna.
yeah, yeah. And then you wanna do the Parmesan and oregano.
Yeah, I want the butter melt just a little more too.
Okay.
Well, we're not doing oregano, we're doing Italian herbs.
Oh,
Does
okay.
it say how much?
It says 1 tablespoon of chopped fresh oregano.
Mm.
Okay, so we're gonna do a teaspoon and a half of Italian herbs
That's not
Yeah.
and a little bit of hot pepper.
Half a teaspoon of crushed red pepper.
Okay, I'm
You're
gonna do,
doubling the recipe.
I'm gonna do, yeah, you can
Yeah.
always add more of this, you
Yeah.
can't take it out.
And then it will be a cup
Yeah, this is,
of Parmesan cheese.
Mm.
I can't lose my lid to my little bottles, gosh, I go crazy.
Mm.
My little, my spice cupboard looks so, my daughter says, Mom, she says, you gotta do something about this, and I says, well, what do you want me to do about it? She says, well, can you just start buying those containers at Winco, like, that hold the stuff and they're all the same size? Then it would be my spice cupboard,
Right.
but they are handy little jars, but yeah. Yeah, I use whatever.
Tell
Okay.
me again, oh, I'm sorry. What was the sourdough? You said top shelf, which
Oh,
section?
it's right above their yeast. It's
Oh,
right,
that-
some
oh,
of,
that
some of
makes
the
sense.
yeast is on the top, it's on the top to the left. And it's kind of in a little white with sky blue and I think red printing on it, but it's a little, actually, little envelope about that big.
Oh.
And what's it called?
It's
Sourdough
sourdough starter,
starter.
a
It's
dry one.
called sourdough starter.
Yeah, and it's just, I mean, I saw it when I was in there and I thought, oh my gosh, it'd be so much easier.
I kill mine, I do pretty good, and then I kill it.
Well, I kept one alive for a long time, then I never made anything with
What
it.
is that
I thought,
right
this
there?
is Parmesan cheese. And it called for a whole cup. For
Well,
that
if you're, well, it calls for half a cup, and you said we're doubling it, so.
I may add just a tiny bit more oil. Cause it showed on a video of them somebody dipping into this sauce and it was pretty liquidy. That may be the cheese melts down
Yeah,
too.
I think the cheese will.
We don't want any 30 weight oil.
About 5.
That smells good. It's gonna be fun.
Okay, that's almost not even warm.
I have not been successful.
Who was asking me where, oh, here, just take the rest of that home.
What's your taste?
I was looking actually for some of that for mine.
I think you can get coarse salt, I mean, in bulk, like a Winco, I think you, I know they have the Himalayan, the pink.
Okay, I'm trying to decide who's making it. Oh, I'm trying to make,
Wonderful.
you know, have you been to Wayne just to have those cheese, or, they're like a bagel, and they put cheese over it. I'm trying to, bagel bites.
Oh, bagel bites?
Yeah, anyway, I got some of those the other day, and it said to roll them in salt, so I was looking for
For some kosher
that
salt.
kind of salt. So I just ended up with kosher, but I think the pizza is, the one you have here, so pretzel's just a little bit bigger.
Yeah, I'm trying to think where else you might be able to get this. We don't have, I mean, probably if you went like to Idaho Falls, this Parmesan is melting. And, their restaurant supply place, they might have a kosher ground salt. Or just, you know, these little specialty shops that have the little gifts that you buy to give people, you know, just
Yeah.
look there.
Fred Meyer usually,
Oh, yeah, they do
in their spice section.
And you might look in the organic aisle, you know, the organic with nothing else added to it. I mean, they might
I mean, I
have
don't
kosher
know,
salt.
but maybe.
Yeah. I haven't been here for a long time.
Well, is Parmesan supposed to melt?
It makes it just
Well,
This is just kinda,
smelling good.
smells good, but it's not melting.
It takes time. It's just like,
It's like cooking.
mm.
you know, it's different than regular bread.
Oh, yes, it is.
It's just like, oh. My sister's an amazing sourdough.
Oh, I didn't, anybody else want
Oh, I'm gonna cut the rest of it. Anybody else want red pepper?
I was just contemplating.
Yeah, this is not melting, it's just
Yeah, very.
getting thicker.
I wonder if shaved Parmesan would melt with,
Yeah, it would,
It would. I wonder why the grate it does.
Gave me a crop
because they put stuff in it to
All
keep
this, so it
it.
doesn't. They
Yeah.
put cornstarch and stuff like
Yeah.
that. in it, so you would
Look at it,
Yeah.
why the Parmesan
Well,
isn't
I've
melting.
used it,
Well, it's
melted
melted
just
just
fine.
fine, because they put cornstarch or something in it to keep it from burning.
I think it might be just a matter of sitting here and really stirring it to incorporate that
So what
butter.
are you doing there?
My mom
Just
passed
take the
away
seeds out of
when
this. Anybody else want some red pepper?
February 6th. She was
Oh, you're just
100 years
waiting
old
for us
for
to eat.
Well, yeah.
I was gonna say, what are you making now?
It was good that she did something,
Yes.
you know, you
And
just.
she had, I mean,
pretty.
Anybody else want red pepper?
yeah.
Yeah, she, for the last 2 years,
Just
it
cut
was
up and have
Care
it.
24/7.
Here, go ahead.
And it was interesting. There was a lot of dedication from my sisters.
I mean, yeah, even in I like the green back.
No, it's just
funny. For a year and a half is kind of.
Yeah, because she'd had several strokes.
Anybody else want red pepper?
And she just,
Come to some.
Hungry.
There you go.
Thank you. Scoop this, and now I got the biggest one.
Is it melting?
peppers, that butter into it. I'm just gonna
No,
use
it's
that
fine.
little bit. But I peppers and hummus.
That is interesting, isn't it, Lisa?
I'm wondering what would happen if we put it in a blender.
Don't
blend it, I have not.
Did you have an emulsion? When-
Probably not here.
You make your own.
Do you think it put the cornstarch?
Or just a beater maybe?
Class in April on hummus.
I don't think it will. It's gonna have something that's really got sharp.
Yeah, blender might be.
Suzanne, steamed peppers in hummus, and she's, she gets a big bag of, you know,
Doing anything?
she used her grill bombs, will be used, my daughter makes her own hummus all the time. I've never had this problem, she does, when I used to, grill bombs will be used, and puts whatever she wants with it. Oh, yeah, absolutely, I'll turn it off, so it's not
Okay,
hot.
I looked up in the horse trough, how to thaw out a horse trough, so just go in for YouTube, because it shows models in it. So I didn't dream it, I mean, I didn't get it in my head.
You didn't dream it good.
Nowadays, I don't remember.
Now, my husband, he was out there, he had it unthawed, but, you know, he just, easy stuff.
Pour the, let's pour the oil in there first.
Well, it's a micro went to the left, so I started doing left. North wind just like froze it. It was awful.
I know, I feel bad for them. Yeah.
anything in the water, and I hate water.
And then usually.
Okay, so we learned a lesson, don't use grated Parmesan.
Also, the electric one, even
Oh.
throw it freeze up, because where we live. 'cause
That's so
we get that
interesting.
North wind.
Huh.
Right off
So
of.
what else do you have in there?
Just right
It's,
off
the-
of,
it's what was in the pan,
Big Butte.
but because the Parmesan didn't,
It's
no,
cold,
we're
so
gonna
that north wind
blend
goes
it.
through, there's no protection at all.
No, I've used that kind of Parmesan in sausage before, and it's melted just
I
fine.
use it in my spaghetti sauce all the time.
So I don't know.
Look what's happening, no rumpies.
You can put it back in the pan.
Okay, I think so.
Huh.
Oh, it's super boring.
We're using the blender because the Parmesan cheese kind of just cooked in a clump. So that works.
There's some tricks that they use, and I'm just going to take.
Yeah, we don't know what it was. Maybe though, their house was in Alberta. And I was.
We're just gonna serve that right away.
It's probably.
Oh, my water disappeared.
Oh, look at that. See if I can do that on my dining room.
Don't worry about it. It's like I said, it's just even, he's got insulation.
Definitely can't tell. Wow.
It's roughly the valve goes into the ground.